Peace. It's the Autonomous one. And I'm gonna do another video on the Cherokees, man. I'm gonna keep it moving on this, man. And I'm gonna keep it on the same thing, like showing you how they expelled so-called real Cherokees that they turned black slaves. Now, the last video I just did, I read an article which that was basically telling you about the Trail of Tears, right? Now, this is how these motherfuckers slip up and shit, right? Now, let's deal with this. Let's check this out, right? Deal with this, right? Let's deal with this, right? Now, this is what this article says. Let me read the topic again. This is in the Reuters. I don't know what website this is, but I just happened to find it. I'm gonna probably read from another article as well. It says second largest U.S. tribe expelled slave descendants. Right now, check this out. Let's say Oklahoma City, Rutger. It say the nation's second largest Indian tribe, formerly booted from membership. Thousands of descendants of black slaves who were brought to Oklahoma more than 170 years ago by Native American owners. All right. They say the Cherokee Nation voted after the Civil War to admit the slave descendants to the tribe. They say, but on Monday, the Cherokee Nation's Supreme Court ruled that a 2007 tribal decision to kick the so-called freedmen out of the tribe was proper. Now check this out. They say the controversy stems from a footnote in the brutal history of U.S. treatment of the Native Americans when many Indians were forced to move to what later became Oklahoma from the eastern U.S. in 1838. They say some who had owned plantations in the South brought along their slaves. Now let's deal with this real quick, right? Now, how was people who was marched across the fucking 1,000 miles brought slaves with them? Now, just let this one soak, because we're going to get down to some common sense on this one, right? We're going to get to some common sense on this, all right? Let's deal with common sense on this. And this is for anybody that just came to the page who want to find out where we at so far with this Native American history, all right? We're going to deal with this shit, right? So I'm going to read it again. The controversy stems from a footnote in the brutal U.S. history, the brutal history of the United States treatment of Native Americans, when many Indians was forced to move to what later became Oklahoma from the eastern USA. Now remember, I showed you eastern was in Carolina and Georgia. We know who the indigenous people in them regions are. The indigenous people are not in Oklahoma. The real Cherokees are scattered around. You understand? And some of them people do have the blood, but what happened is they whited themselves out. And what they did was they want the white face to be part of the nation. Now check this out, right? I'm gonna read this one more time. Now this is, we can find real stuff that's in the books, like the relationships of blacks, African Americans and Native Americans. The book by Jack Forbes. I can't think of the one by Jack Forbes. There's a bunch of them with Nations Gathers. They give little clues. But I don't have the PDF for the books right now, so I'm not really trying to pull it up and start showing you. I mean, maybe I can make some videos and go into my books and just highlight it and read from my books or whatever, but I gotta find the ones on PDF. Right? I guess I get when I get time, I'm gonna stop over the Drop Squad. What is that? 432 Drop Radio. I'm gonna stop over there and see what he got. Do he got any PDF? I know he normally have a lot of books over there or whatever, like PDF or books you go read from the computer. All right, but this is what I found strange. So it's saying that the people who was marched across, who was forced to leave their homes, brought along their slaves, right? And in the process, because remember this, right? Think of this too, right? Think about this too, right? All right. There was a war. The Cherokee War was around, I think the last war was over in the 1800s, man. I mean, let me look it up. We're gonna look at it, man. So this is the Chickamauga. That's the war on the Cherokee. Let me see. Let me find all of them because it's a bunch of them. You know what? Let me go to Wikipedia. Maybe I can find it here. Remember, I'm just looking for get a brief understanding. I'm not looking for peer-reviewed studies. And I'm looking to say after Anglo-Saxon Cherokee War, bitterness remained between the two groups in 1765. Well, that's not what I'm looking for. I want to see a list of them. Let me see. Now you read this right here. It say Cherokee. It say Annie. You know I can't really pronounce it though. Waya. It say or Cherokee. It say indigenous people of southeastern woodlands. All right. So let me see if I can find. Let me see. Maybe I can find this. Let me see. Man, there's a bunch of freaking treaties, man, and wars. I mean, it's a lot of interesting stuff that I could probably pick apart in here, but I ain't really got the time to read all this shit right now. I'm gonna probably read a little bit. Well, I match this with what I already got, some of the other information that I got. But no, this ain't what I'm looking for. Let me try one more time. And I'm gonna keep it moving. Alright. Maybe I can find it with this one. Cause you might as well say that 1838, when they made them leave, that was a war too. You understand? That was a war too. See, all these was Cherokees too. The Seminoles was part of the Cherokees too, from my understanding, because I believe the Cherokee Nation extended from the whole Carolinas and what we call Florida now. There was no Georgia. Georgia just I don't know how long Georgia been there, but it haven't been there. I don't believe no longer than 200 years. All right. So these are all the different wars that they had against all the tribes, all the different wars. Let me see something. Alright, I say Seminole. Hold on. Alright, listen. When was the last Cherokee? Alright, the Creek War had the Cherokee Nation was involved. Combatant. Hold on, let me see something. Let me go back down. This one. Oh, say combatant one. It was the Seminoles against the United States. Alright, so the Spanish. Alright, so it's the Spanish and the Indian Wars. That was with the Comanches and all that. Alright, so from what I see right here, until I do some further research, I'm gonna stop it at 1833, right? Because hold up, what was that? I was right here. No, actually, this is another article. My bad, people. Yeah, I'm all over the place, man. Oh, yeah, it's this one right here. My bad. All right, so they say some 4,000 Indians died during the forceful march. All right, so during the forceful march, people who was captured was still going to continue to be slaves, or they was going to try to run away. Think about it. And they saying that these people was freedmen. So you know, it's a lot. It's a lot that they lying about. We already know. So matter of fact, let me read a little bit more because I see something right here. All right. So it says some 4,000 Indians died during the forced march. It said which became known as the Trail of Tears, and our ancestors carried the baggage. They said Maryland Van. They say the freedman leader who is the plaintiff in the legal battle. Alright, so it's saying our ancestors carry the baggage. Alright, so I take it that Marilyn Van is a Negro. I take it that she has to be a Negro. It say leaders who is a plaintiff in the legal battle. I'm sorry. It said officially there are about 2,800 freedmen, but another 3,500 have tribal membership application pending. And there could be as many as 25,000 eligible, they say, to enter the tribe, according to Van. The tribal court decision was announced one day before absentee ballot were to be mailed and elected of the Cherokee principal chief. My bad, y'all, my boy. Alright, so they say this is racism and apartheid in the 21st century. They said Van, an engineer who lived in Oklahoma City. The spokesman for the tribe did not respond when asked to comment. They say more to exclude the freemen had rankled. They say some African American members of Congress, which had jurisdiction over all the Native American tribes in the country. The lawsuit challenging the freemen removal from the tribe has been pending in court in Washington about 6 years. A sovereign nation, Cherokee Nation, officially maintains that tribe had the right to amend. Now they trying to say that the tribe had a right. Remember, when I read in the last one, when part of the whole agreement was that Cherokee Nation was going to remain an independent state outside of Oklahoma, which is not. It's part of the damn state. So now, this is how this is what I want you people to do. Okay, think about this, right? Think about the racism and the racism how these people treat you. When you believe that these people going to tell you the truth, when these are the freaking are the principal chiefs. Alright, now I'm going to go down the line, alright? Now this is, I guess this is the principal chief at the moment of the Cherokee Nation. This motherfucker right here. Now, I said I wasn't going to curse, but you already know. Now look at all these people. This lady right here look like she's Spanish, Mexican. This guy right here look like he can be, like, I don't know what. Like, I don't know. And this lady right here look like she can be black to some degree. Okay? It's another black lady. I don't know who these people are while he's signing this or whatever, but nonetheless, I couldn't find. This is the only picture I was able to find of him or whatever. But this is one of the Cherokee chiefs. All right, this is another one of the Cherokee chiefs. Now you ask yourself this guy right here, Patrick Lambert. Okay, now just ask yourself this question, right? And this is how we gonna get. This is how we gonna get to the bottom of this shit, right? If Europeans are not indigenous to this continent, then how are they the faces of all these tribes? And why did the tribes accept them as opposed to accept so-called blacks? Now, all of us say this, right? Most people you meet, when you start showing them pictures of these black tribes, most of them like, yeah, we know most original tribes was black. Now, to keep that in mind, if most original tribes was black, then how did they get a European face with a European name and an English name? None of these tribal leaders have any indigenous Aborigine names or whatever, all their names are European, and they all part of some type of, they do something like, you know what I'm saying, they ain't no sovereign person just walking around eating off the land or whatever. They all work for the government in some way, shape, form, or fashion, alright? So this is one of them, right? And this is another one right here. We're gonna keep on dealing with it. Now this one right here, he looked the most out of all of them, probably like he got Negro in him. Whenever it load up. Excuse me. Let's say Chief Leon D. Jones. Now you see how he look? Now he looked like a Negro, but he got that straight white hair because, like I said, you gotta understand something. There was still Negro, but I think a lot at that point in time they start classifying a lot of Negroes as Negroes. You understand what I'm saying? I think at this point in time they start classifying a lot of Negroes because remember, they worked their way in from Virginia. By that time, Virginia, they already had Christian names and been colonized at that point in time. Some of them, the ones that were still fighting back, was caught and put into slavery. You understand what I'm saying? So you see this guy right here. We think Native Americans. This is what we got. We know it was many people here, right? And this is what everybody keep telling you when you hear the history in this country. Man, there was a lot of people, a lot of different cultures in here. Nah, I don't want to hear that because I see what the pictures of Power Hudson look like. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear none of that about, yeah, I'm dealing with the first people that these people ran across. Okay, I'm dealing with these people. You understand? I'm not trying to get all confused with all that other bullshit, with all that, oh yeah, well some of the tribes had Indian or some, and now I know how they got to Oklahoma because when they pushed the Cherokee out or whatever, they pushed the Cherokee out. Okay, at that point in time, most of the Cherokees probably, I mean, a lot of good majority of Cherokees, it was white people already mixed in or whatever, right? So the little ones that they did allow to mate or to keep on doing what they was doing, they just bleached themselves out. That's the reason why you don't see none of these people looking indigenous. You know what I'm saying? And then you see some of us. How many black people say they got Indian in them or whatever? So I guess the Indian we got is from you being a slave and your slave ancestor mixing in with that indigenous person. Now think about this. Think about just keep that right there, all right? Now, the way we got into most of these tribes, I mean, the way we think we got into most of these tribes, because I know that the original person on this hemisphere, North America, was a Negro. When they came here in 1607, they found Negroes. They didn't find no Indians with no two braids and no straight hair and no one feather. They found people with feather crowns. They found these people. These is Negroes. And I know this is drawing and people like, man, this is, you know, this is like real preschoolish or whatever. But they showing you the people are dark. They got peace pipes in their hair. They got them feather crowns on. None of the Native Americans that we are being shown has that. Okay? And that's what you gotta understand. All these pictures mean something, man. And if you'll be a fool to think that they don't. This is evidence. You'll be a fool to believe that these pictures like this don't mean sense. It's a reason why they got these person dark in the dark complexion. Because think of it like this. Look. Alright, this one for example. This one. See the Masonic, you see the Masonic checkerboard. See the Masonic checkerboard, right? Now you think these slaves, these are Aborigines. These are the people who working. And I think this might be London right here. This might be London. This might be, well, I don't know. This might be North America. This might be Virginia. It doesn't specify. But you see, they showing this European looking white. They got these people looking black as day. You understand? So when we start looking at these pictures, show that they were showing you what the people look like. You know, even though we ain't gonna find no pictures of what the indigenous people looked like, because they didn't gave them all these titles to these freaking Europeans. Now, like I said, this man right here might have been the closest looking to a Negro that I have found so far. Now look, here go another one. This is her name Joyce Duggins. Check this out. Now, if you think if we relate back to what we was told, right? All right, well, the slaves mixed in with with some of these tribes, right? So that would mean that they would still be part of them tribes, regardless of however you feel about it. right? The same way when we say, all right, well, if we can agree that there was no Europeans here, how are these Europeans the face of these tribes? That's the question. They obviously they had to mix in too, but now they got the right to tell us that we can't be part of the tribe because they like, no, you slaves and freemen, you don't deserve it. My ancestors was already, they got ancestors that was tribe. But this is, see, this is the fuckery, and this is why I make videos like this, just so you people understand what the hell is really going on. Okay, now look, all right, another European. Look like a little Spaniard. Look like she can be Portuguese, but we know how did she get that color, and where is the real indigenous people of this land? Where is they at? Now, when you read stuff like I just read Verrazano, he said the people are rustic. None of these people look rustic. Let me pull up rustic again, man. As a matter of fact, you know what? I'm gonna pull the article up one more time just in case if y'all didn't check the last video, man. I'm gonna pull the article up again and I'm gonna read it again, just to let y'all know, man. I mean, this is some real deep stuff, man. When you really get into it, man. Now you tell me if he's saying that these people was black, right? He's saying this is the Carolina Explorer. It says Carolina right here. The original Cherokee tribe was in the Carolinas, okay? They moved to Oklahoma because of the Trail of Tears, okay? Because they wanted to take the land. All right, so now we'll read right here. Here we go right here. It say these people go all together except only they cover their private parts with certain skins of beasts like unto marten. It say which they fasten onto a narrow griddle made of grass. We already know what that looked like. Very artfully, wrought, hung about with tails of diverse other beasts, which round about their bodies, dangling down to their knees. Some of them wore garlands like of birds, feathers. It say the people are of a color rustic, okay? Not much unlike the Saracens. Okay, now I'm not going back. I just showed y'all what the Saracens look like and what the Europeans, they told the truth in that movie. They didn't just put Morgan Freeman as a Saracen and then they told the truth in that movie. You understand? And rustic. Let's look up what's rustic and let's see, do any of these people look rustic? Okay? I say dark brown, reddish orange, tinge, whatever, tinge, whatever. But let me look at the images. Fuck what they trying to explain it looking like. Alright, this rustic, alright. Now he's saying this is rustic and this is what the people, there's so many different complexions or colors or however you want to say it. But we know rustic ain't this color right here. The rustic don't look like this. We are smart enough to know that, right? We are smart enough to know that. So my computer is taking for all this stuff open. We are smart enough to know that this guy right here ain't indigenous to this land. Oh, he's a Native American. This is another Cherokee chief. Chief Clifford Gerald Parker. Okay, this is another Cherokee chief. All right, now let's take a look at this guy. He looked like a regular European. Okay, how did Europeans get into the Native Americans? Okay, now let's sit that over there. How did the Europeans get into the Native American? Obviously, they had to mix in or mate into the Native American, right? Now, for those of us who don't think that we indigenous and the Aboriginal people here was copper color or melanated or had the complexion of what we call African Americans. or African Americans. Alright, so they say that the black slaves supposedly got citizenship because these people right here, these Cherokees right here, this European guy right here accepted the original people into the tribe. Do you see how this shit is? This shit is a joke, man. And that's why this whole Native American thing, that's why I don't even subscribe to it. Because it's a fucking joke, man. No one can show us what the original Native Americans look like. You got all these different tribes with all these different people. So where was the original people in them tribes, man? This is the question that you got to ask yourself. And I also found this too. They got another, matter of fact, I think it's over here. No, I'm bugging. Hold up. It's over here. I got another branch of the so-called Cherokees called the UKB, or there's something to that effect. Let me see. Let me find it. Now look, just to touch on this while we going over. All right. Now this is what they said. That one of the so-called conshoot or whatever, 1762. All right. Now he looked like a European. I don't buy that. Now look at this guy. That's John Ross right there. Look, he died of old age. He sold his people out. Look at him. He's a straight European. Look at this guy right here. Another straight European. And look. I don't know what this guy is right here. I mean, he can look like a Spaniard. I don't know what the fuck he is. I'm not even going to get into it. Alright? When we go down, this guy right here. He's the former principal chief from 1999 to 2011. Now, this guy right here is the acting, I believe he's the acting principal chief, John Baker. Okay, now, you notice up here, let me see. Alright, so they got the United Katawa band. Now if you look, when we originally looked up the original word was not spelled nothing like this. So they spelled it wrong because they know that they're not the real people. It was spelled K-I-T-U-W-A. That's how it was spelled. It wasn't spelled Kitawa. This is some European, this is the way Europeans spell or whatever. It was not spelled nothing like that. Now they say the UKB Cherokees are descended primarily of old settlers. Now I don't know old settlers what it say old. I don't know what you mean by old settlers. Old settlers, what Europeans that came from Europe? It say who organized under the Federal Indian Act of 1934 and the State of Oklahoma Indian Welfare Act of 1933. They ratified their constitution and bylaws and were recognized by the federal government in 1950. Now these motherfuckers going behind giving each other status or whatever. Now, this is what I'm trying to say now. If they don't want to give a so-called Negro, when we already read right here, when we know Cherokee Nation was in Carolina. We know that. It says, selling along the coast, Verrazano reached the Outer Banks of North Carolina. Okay, now we already know, and we go down here, say further north, he came to a beautiful place in which therefore called Acadia, and say this was probably Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. He say here he kidnapped a young child and failed to kidnap a young woman. Selling further north, he missed the entrance to the Chesapeake, Delaware Bay. He say because until New Jersey he kept quite far from the coast. So basically showing you he was on the coast. So he's showing you he was in North Carolina. He said these people have a color of rustic. Okay, the color of rustic. And he say, and much unlike Saracens. So I gotta pull the video back up again. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying, man. So when you deal with these tribes or whatever, and you looking at these so-called chiefs, man, you start asking yourself, like, look, even if we did come over here from Africa, let's deal with that, right? Even if we did come over here from Africa, right? And some of the Africans mixed in with the Cherokee, then that would make them Cherokee just as much as it make Europeans that mixed in with the original Cherokee. How is Europeans more recognized to be Indians than blacks when you got the explorer himself? Verrazano saying the people had a color of rustic, not much unlike Saracens. And we don't need to pull the video back up, man. We don't need to pull the video back up. You understand what I'm saying? So, like I said, man, you know, look, man, history is a lie. For all you so-called brainiacs who come up here and then you come on my page with all this Native, but this ain't no Native American. And if he is a Native American, you need to tell me how. He got 1/8 for a Cherokee. All of us supposed to have all this Cherokee in us. Okay, okay. So, but because he got 1/8, it's saying now you got elected. These are elected. These are elected principal chiefs. All right, they was elected by the people and by the so-called government. You know, the government is being controlled by the real government. You know what I'm saying? And that's the reason why they put these people in front of you to make sure that you don't get in there. Because how can he, this European, know damn well he is a fucking European, tell you when Verrazano said the people in Carolina was color rustic, not unlike the Saracen, and the other ones say they look like the Ethiopians, man. So look, man, I mean, you do your research, man. I mean, like I said, knowing your Aborigine is the first step, man. As you see, trying to get into any of these tribes is nearly impossible. Like, people gonna keep on laughing at, because there's no way there's no way that they gonna recognize you. There's no way that they're going to recognize it. If they telling these people right here, let me get the right article. It's this one right here. If they tell us, no, it's not. It's one of these. No, it's this one right here, my bad. Man, I'm sorry, man. Sometimes my computer take a while, especially when they've been running all day. All right. So if it's telling these people right here, who they lied to these people, right? Because they got these people thinking that they were slaves, man. And then, yo, this thing is deeper than you think, man. As you get into the middle of this, man, you realize that these people is lying, and these people are keeping you out of your history on purpose, man. That's the way it seems to me. It seems like this shit ain't no mystery, because you got certain black tribes, right? Now you ask yourself, you got certain black tribes, right? How did them black people get into them tribes? They always going to try to tell you that they were slaves. When we know what Powhatan looked like, we know what Verrazano said, we know what Columbus said, we know what Herman de Santos said, we know what Arnaldus Martinez said. So now, how did they go from? Let me just go ahead, because I got plenty of these pictures, man. I mean, I don't even want to show you that, man. Let me see. All these pictures are so-called melanated Indians. I don't show you none of them. I don't show you the Mongoloid Indians because I don't really understand how they relate to what the fuck is going on. I really don't understand. I understand that they was found probably in like the Midwest, up there like in the, you want to say in the Northwest hemisphere, because they came down from the Bering Strait. They came down from Canada and Alaska. Now let's say in America right here, right? Now this is the Negro. This is the Negro, man. It's not even a comparison. This shit don't even come close no more, man. Like it's just so. Look. Native American. It's a Native American in Europe that they call a blackamoor. So when you see him, you think you won't know what he was. It's a Native American in Europe. Okay. Here go another Native American. Okay. Here go another Native American. Now, look at how he's built. Look at how he's built. You see most of these Native Americans now, they all fat. They ain't got no type of shape to them. Remember what Verrazano said. And I got to keep on relating back to this, because this is pretty much, at this point in time, we got to look and understand what the hell is going on, all right? So now right here, it say, they are well figured in their limbs. It say the average statue are common, somewhat bigger than we. Broad breast, strong arms, and their legs and other body parts are well fashioned. They are disfigured in nothing, okay? Now, look, you look at them in Native Americans, they look funny as hell. You don't know what the hell they is. They look like they could be Arabs or Mexicans or you don't know what the hell they are. You understand what I'm saying? But we know that these people are constantly lying, man. And then the sad part is, like, you got people like that was in them tribes or whatever, right? Now you got I do got pictures like this, right? I got pictures like this, right? Now when you see in these tribes right here, right? You see a few Europeans, because these are probably the descendants of the ones that mixed in, and then they gave these people dominion over us. Because how do you got all these black faces and these motherfuckers are the leader of the tribes? Because we think, oh, we got Cherokee in our blood, when we are the motherfucking Cherokee. The Cherokee that they showing you got European in them. You know what I'm saying? They got European in them, man. I mean, it's look, man, it's just straightforward. You know what I'm saying? We got plenty of images, man, to prove it. You know what I'm saying? You can keep sitting here lying and saying, all right, well, these are Native American. I got the images right here, Money Grip, so we can play games all we want. Like, I mean, I know what they said. You know what I'm saying? These are the images. Do this look like anything? This is America. Look, this look like their ancestors right here on the bottom. Look. Look at these Europeans. Look at him. Well, I don't know what he is. Look at him. Look at him. Wouldn't these be their ancestors on the bottom right here? Wouldn't this be their ancestors right here? How did they go from here to here and then didn't take your title? You know what I'm saying? And then they even said, if you read, now look, he got a bird on his head, right? Now check this out. Now let me show you something. He got like a hawk or something on his head, right? Now remember what Verrazano said. Look, he got a hawk on his head. Now remember what Verrazano said. Look, it said, hold up, right here. All right. It says very artful work. It's a hanging above with tails of diverse other beasts with round about their bodies, hanging and dangling from their knees. They say wearing garlands of birds, feathers, and man, look, man, listen. Like I said, man, it goes on and on and on and on and on, man. We already know because they made these images to where they cannot hide it. We know that these Europeans that's in these tribes are not indigenous. We know. Because if these people so-called got their heritage, then why the fuck they got European names at this point in time? This is the question you gotta ask yourself. Why do they got European names at this point in time? If they his name's Smith and he's the leader of a tribe. Now his family looked like they came over here and they was part of colonizers. So how did they go from the colonizers to being the leaders of the tribe? Because they mixed in and they gave these titles to these Europeans that was in their tribes. Alright, so look, man, you know, I'm gonna probably do another video on this because there's a lot more research that gotta go through it or whatever, and there's a lot more of these so-called other chiefs, man, that you already gotta check out or whatever. Like I said, man, this shit is a joke when you really start understanding. They allow these, now this guy who obviously is more European than he is anything. He's the chief of so-called indigenous people of this land. When he's obvious part of the colonizers who came here. So how can he? That's a conflict of interest, man. And then dealing with you saying that, oh, the blacks that's in the reason that some of these tribes look black because of the slaves. No, because of the real people, the real aborigines. I keep showing you. Okay, they can't hide these images, man. You know, you can, and people can say what they want to say. Oh, these are just pictures. Yeah, okay, they are just pictures, but somebody wrote them, and somebody put color on them for a reason, okay? And along with identifying, let me see, along with and even this picture right here. Even this picture right here, look, if you look at him, look, he got, I don't know if this a bird landed on his head or is this the artwork or what they were saying, like stuff hanging and dangling from them or whatever, man. Here go the Europeans and here go these people, okay? Now, they try to show you that these people right here This lady right here, they try to show you that she's a real Indian. When you see the real Indian right here on the top. Okay, now they'll show you this picture right here and say, oh, that's what the Indians look like in Virginia. When it's showing you that she's the queen right here. She's the queen. She's the damn queen. That's why she's sitting on the alligator. You understand what I'm saying? So, like I said, man, look, man, do your research, man. Like, don't let nobody tell you, don't let nobody laugh you out. You hear Waka Flocka saying here, Cherokee, he's telling you the truth. He's telling you the truth. And for him to directly say he's Cherokee and can't be part of the tribe because they said, no, you part of the free man, or you part of they then made up another lie to keep you from even claiming that part of what you really are. So people, man, you know, do your research, man, and just think about it. Think about this stuff with a clear mind and use your common sense, man. So with that being said, I'm a Conscience, man. I'm out. Peace.